Y'all listen up as I narrate the Vector's tale. A man from afar riding the temporal gale. Ronin by name and a Ronin by fate. In the tapestry of time he's got a date. He ain't just saving, he's exploring the rift. In the timelines he travels, he's given a lift. Seeking tech and secrets in a world that's gone astray. Ronin's the man who's gonna find a way. Ronin Vector, the chrono navigator. In the flow of time, he's the prime innovator. Exploring the realms where few dare to venture. He's the Ronin Vector, the timeline's avenger. Future so bright to our present so bleak. He's the silent watcher, the tech he does seek. Not just a savior, but a seeker of lore. Ronin's the key to what we're looking for. Through the ruins and the relics, he's making his mark. A beacon of hope in the timeline so dark. With every secret he finds, every piece he retrieves. Crafting a future nobody believes. Ronin Vector, with a vision so clear. In the shadows of time, he's got nothing to fear. An explorer at heart, with a will that won't sever. He's the Ronin Vector, forever and ever. So when you feel the ground shake and the air gets colder, know that Ronin's passing by as the world grows older. In the whispers of time, his legends inscribed. Ronin Vector, the man who defied. Ronin Vector, the chrono navigator. In the flow of time, he's the prime innovator. Exploring the realms where few dare to venture. He's the Ronin Vector, the timeline's avenger. Ronin Vector, with a vision so clear. In the shadows of time, he's got nothing to fear. An explorer at heart, with a will that won't sever. He's the Ronin Vector, forever and ever. So when you feel the ground shake and the air gets colder, know that Ronin's passing by as the world grows older. In the whispers of time, his legends inscribed. Ronin Vector, the man who defied.
Hello and welcome to a late edition of my show, for lack of a better name. We're coming back with some comics today. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be a little shorter today, but we do pretty good overall on time, pumping these out throughout our sessions. So I anticipate we'll at least get through two. And we'll wrap up a major cliffhanger we left off on. But before I discuss any of that, I need my ritualistic bowl. It helps me, stay in tune with this timeline so I don't phase out of it. That's what's going on. It's not just really good weed. So, bravo. What are you up to? What are you up to today, buddy? What's going on? This particular marijuana is called orange soda. Doesn't really taste like orange soda, but it's got like hint smell, like a faint smell of it, maybe. Like before I smoke it. After you smoke it, it smells like just nothing. Well, it smells like marijuana. Mm. So last we did a session here. We left off on a mysterious antagonist attacking the X-Men, right? And I got it wrong. I honestly I thought when Magneto, it's Magneto, spoiler. I thought when Magneto would come back, it wouldn't be I didn't think it'd be this personal. He's taken it really personal, and his defeat wasn't even by the X-Men. He fucked himself by um, trying to team up with the Stranger, whoever the hell he is, which as of right now is just some rando alien. So yeah, when we left off, I think it was Toad and Magneto that got uh, kidnapped by the Stranger. He literally got kidnapped by a stranger. You can't make it up. That's what happens when you talk to strangers, kids. But so yeah, that's the last time we saw him. So I get why he would attack the X-Men, but like he's attacking them as if it's like like if they punched his mother in the gut themselves or something. You know, I don't know. He's got a weird. It just seems extra personal. So I was thrown off, not only because he didn't really use his powers all that much throughout the comic. He made a point not to use his powers. I think he even says like, "I'm gonna hit you with my fists, or you don't know who I am based on my power." Some kind of jargon like that. So I believe everybody is down except for Iceman. Yep. Okay. Here's what it was. Iceman was recovering from their last battle with the Sentinels, I believe, when they took down Master Mold, and he's feeling better now. So it's up to Iceman, the youngest on the team, the one who feels probably the most self-conscious in terms of like contributing to the team. He probably ties with Jean on that, but Iceman, I think, is the most outwardly self-conscious, and we'll see what he does. We'll see if he's got what it takes to take down Magneto. Now, the cover would have us believe he's going to have a hard time, but it does say if Iceman should fail. So, for those unaware of how we do, whether you're tuning in now or later, this is as much a discussion as it is a reading. So if you're here to see someone do a nice reading of a comic book that doesn't fuck up and does great character voices, there's somebody that does that better. If you're looking for someone to intelligently break down these comics for you and kind of like spell out what everything means, there's better videos for that too. Okay. You'll be out. Like, you'll be out because you'll be asleep, or you'll be out because you're out and about. So this is as much a discussion as it is a reading. The reading's not perfect. The discussion is mostly based on my whims, you know. But that's it. You know, if you like hanging out with cool people, we get people that stop by during the day and hang out, and just a nice casual discussion, some light reaction. Then this might be for you. So. With that said, let's get into it. We start off every issue by looking at like who made it. Number 18. First comic of the new year. See, this is why I didn't put the year in the title this time. So I wasn't sure. But 1966. And this is pretty much my unfiltered opinion at this point, because we're way past the point where I stopped reading the original run. I guess I didn't make it very far. I've read subsequent issues way after the fact, like who hasn't read Giant Size X-Men? But yeah, my knowledge in terms of in-depth, I read every issue, like it ended. So we're learning as we go. So January 4th, 1966 is when it came out, and made by the crew. We see these guys all the time. Writer and editor Stan Lee, penciler Jay Gavin, Dick Ayers for inker, and the letterers Artie Simek. And I think that's it. Let's get into it. Let's not waste too much time. We'll take a nice gander at the cover here. The X-Men, if Iceman should fail. It's a pretty, I mean, I don't like the floating heads there. I know they use it a lot in the older, especially the older comic books, because I think like they're trying to get like they're trying to advertise who's going to be in the comic, sure, and they're trying to get like a dramatic reaction from their face, like, oh, Professor X is making the O face? What's going, but it looks silly. That shit it always looks silly. And why is Angel the only one that gets a little more body? I guess it's because of the wings, because how would you be able to separate him from the beast more easily, So I don't like it. I'm just gonna say it. I think if it was just the Magneto trying to dominate Iceman there, it'd be much better off. So I don't like the floating heads, the reacting floating heads. And and to get deeper, I don't watch reaction videos. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not one of those guys. So I'm certainly not going to like a bunch of floating heads just floating and reacting. It adds nothing other than marketing. But that's what it's all about. You gotta make that 12 cents somehow. Can you believe that shit? 12 cents back in the day. These older people have the nerve to tell you that you just don't work hard enough for the things you want. Bitch, like 12 cents back in the day? Get bent. 12 cents. Alright, I'm not gonna get too stuck on that fact, but come on. We got Magneto doing a nice power pose, a nice dominating stance. Like, yes! Fall, Iceman, fall! Yeah, I could dig it. Magneto's a drama queen if there ever was one. I love it. And look at that joy on his face. Like, that's the happiest I've ever seen him so far in this run. Like, he's had his moo-ha-ha-ha moments, but that looks like a genuine, like, not a forced evil laugh smile. Like everything's going great today. I got these 5 fucks all captured, and so, yeah. Iceman looking pretty good. He's better than his original form as a snowman. Now, what is he doing to him? I don't know. Maybe he's just fucking with iron in his blood. I know he has some kind of vague power to use the power of magnetism to fuck with your brain. I don't know. Could be anything, really. Here we go. X-Men, the most unusual fighting team of all time. If Iceman should fall. One by one, the X-Men have been defeated by the most powerful, the most deadly foe of all. For those of you careless enough to have missed our previous issue, we shall go back in a bit in an effort to bring you up to date, thus proving no sacrifice is too great for us to make in this, the magnificent new Marvel age of comics. But don't expect us to make a habit of it here. Far above Earth, a balloon is drifting, climbing ever higher towards the distant substratosphere, bringing the X-Men ever closer to their doom. That's right, he did just kind of shove them in a pod. See, when I see stuff like this, like, you could make a retroactive argument like, yes, Magneto tried to kill them, but if he really wanted to, he could have just crushed the ball, right? Maybe he was counting on their, mutant abilities to get them out of it. I'm sure he'll act all surprised when he sees them, though, so it's gonna fly in the face of everything I'm saying. But I would accept that as like a retcon, because if you wanted them dead, just you crush the ball, right? You just crush them. They'd be paste. It'd be done. You'd never have to deal with them again. So I'm gonna choose to believe that on some subconscious level that Magneto does not want them dead. Even when he tries to kill them, he doesn't want them dead, I think. And now that you've been made the And now that you've made the wisest investment of the season by buying this issue, we suggest that you turn the page and start reading. It's really gonna rock ya. It's really gonna rock ya. Higher and higher into the endless void drifts the locked gondola as its 5 unconscious occupants slump helplessly against its cold. Escape. Alright, I can do better. Higher and higher into the endless void drifts the locked gondola as its 5 unconscious occupants slump helplessly against its cold, escape-proof shell. But who is the master menace that has brought one of the world's greatest fighting teams to the edge of destruction? Professor X, you stay away from her. I know what's going on in his head. And that's not even a joke. But who but Magneto? Magneto, the most powerful evil mutant of all time. You thought you had banished me from Earth forever, but I return stronger than ever. Strong enough to destroy you all. And now, I'll destroy every last trace of the X-Men's existence. You don't mean that, though. You would have crushed them. Right there. That's it. He's a liar. He's lying to himself. In fact, he could have smashed their brains into jelly the moment he made every single one of them unconscious. Into jelly. Nothing can resist my matchless magnetic power. By harnessing only a fraction of the natural magnetism that is mine, I can raise their entire school building only to send it crashing down in ruins. And you know he's actually saying this out loud because they differentiate between when they're thinking stuff and when they're speaking. So he's saying this out loud to himself. Maybe this is like a Dragon Ball situation where, like, they don't need to say Kamehameha, but, like, saying it as they're doing it, maybe it like psychs them up, helps them stay focused. I don't know. Special note. We know you're wondering how Magneto managed to return to Earth. But be patient, Pussycat. The best is yet to come. Can you imagine if an actual TV show and movie stopped to call you Pussycat and say, don't worry about the story. Just don't worry about it. Don't think about it. It's kind of wild stuff. And now, to release my magnetic hold, letting it know, I have a far better idea. I shall need a headquarters for myself now that I am ready to attack the human race once more. And what supreme irony it shall be to use the former home of my enemies for that very purpose. Thus, allowing the enormous building. So he basically just fucked up the entire plumbing and electricity of the building for no reason. He changed his mind as he was doing it. Whatever. I guess he could use his magnetic powers to fix the plumbing. Part of it, maybe. I guess the wiring, too. Maybe he can fix it. Maybe. Still not gonna help with all the plaster and whatever. And can you imagine Magneto going back inside the house and, like, now that he wants to keep it, he's gotta, like, pick up all the fucking furniture off the floor because he just picked up a goddamn house? You know, like, people don't think about these little logistics. Like, someone has to go back inside and make the bed, like put the food back in the fridge, you know? Like, it wasn't an empty house. Bad guys, man. Sometimes these bad guys don't think. Okay. Thus, allowing the enormous building to settle gently back to the ground, the world's most dangerous mutant strides majestically inside, and as he approaches them, all the objects that had been strewn about in his flight with the X-Men magnetically rise back into place. Yeah, but not everything is made out of metal. I don't know. Like, go in the kitchen and clean up those leftovers on the ground with your magnetic powers, you know? The X-Men had defeated me in the past because of the weakness of those who served me, but now I fight alone. I need no allies. I am Magneto, the all-powerful. Get fucked, Toad. I wonder what even happened to him. Because Toad was with him when he got kidnapped. I don't know why the stranger would want Toad, but... Oh. 3! Gotta have the re-alarm going off. The desk of Professor X, with his accursed Cerebro machine built into its surface. Cerebro, created to warn him of the presence of dangerous mutants. He'll have no further use for that. I think it's interesting that this thing works independent of Charles. Or maybe he's got some kind of psychic link with it. I don't know. Like, how does it do what it does? Do mutants just, like, give off some kind of special energy? Is it actually scanning DNA? I wonder what the explanation is there. Whatever does not serve Magneto must be destroyed, for I am supreme. Food. Wait, the sound of a car stopping in the driveway. I have visitors. As the new owner of this building, I must give them a proper welcome. They seem so innocent, so completely guileless. They are undoubtedly the parents of one of the professor's students. This gives me an idea. They shall be made to serve me. Can you imagine going up to a boarding school and, like, you see that peeking out the window? My kid would not be going back. Professor X must be constantly wiping minds. Unconsensually, I might add. And this, you will remember, is where our tantalizing tale ended last issue. Oh, who are you? I am power. Men call me Magneto. And now, come in. Nope. I'd just turn around and be like, I'll come back later. I want to see the bald guy. Startled at the sight of the strangely garbed being, Mr. and Mrs. Warrington allowed themselves to be led inside. I don't know what this is all about, but we would like to see our son, Warren Warrington III. Would you please tell him his parents are here, please? Fools, do you think he's some flunky whom you can order about? It is I who give the orders, and my first command is, gaze into my eyes. Now, you cannot turn away. You are held by magnetic attraction. What? You are suddenly very tired. There's a guest room at the head of the stairs. You will occupy it. That is such a random... I know he's kind of done this before, but... Oh, he was right, dear. I find that I am exhausted. It's so kind of you to offer us your hospitality, Mr. Magneto. There they shall remain until I am ready to summon them again. Look, Nat, he does know how to use his his inside voice. But with the Angel's parents safely locked away and under his magnetic control, the megalomaniacal God damn, words are hard. The maniacal, say it with me, kids, maniacal. The megalomaniacal mutant remembered one last detail. My victory is still not complete. The Iceman is as yet accounted for. Bah, why should I worry about him? He is the youngest and the most inexperienced of all. If I was able to defeat the other 5, what do I have to fear from the weakest of the lot? I think behind Jean Grey, Iceman is probably the strongest one there when he's at max power, you know? I remember, I think it was, Emma Frost. I think she takes over, Iceman's body at some point, and she has like the self-realization while inside Iceman, like, oh, wait a minute, he's been holding back. This bitch don't understand like how strong he is. Because the reality is he could just suck up all the moisture in the air and freeze the entire planet, and that's it. It's done. And as time has gone on, it's been shown that he can change his shape and form through ice somehow. Though that power seems to vary greatly, you know, when it's used, how it's used. Because there's plenty of realities where Bobby just dies and doesn't like live as a puddle or something. So, but yeah, Iceman is far from the weakest of the crew there, you know. Like an evil Iceman would be the end of us all. It'd be like, imagine Storm being evil. She could do whatever she wanted. And even as Magneto speaks, the youngest of the fabled X-Men lies in his hospital room. Still on the critical list, still hovering desperately between life and death. Nurse, we can afford to wait no longer. He's reached the critical stage. We must take a chance and apply the new sofa drug. Without it, he may not last the night. Quickly, woman! Is the new laser-induced hypodermic ready? The laser-induced. Quickly, woman! Is the new laser-induced hypodermic ready? They need me. They need me. I must go to them. They need me. They've worked round the clock to complete it in time, Doctor, but they wanted me to warn you it's never been tried before. How do they know it's completed if they've never... I'm assuming they tested it as in, like, let's aim it at an ice block, at least. I hope. There's always a first time, young lady. Just pray that it will penetrate his incredible skin. They need me. I have to say, it is kind of a neat idea. I mean, I'm not sure, like, why they just wouldn't, like, maybe use an ice pick or something. I don't know. Maybe this is the better way. It is kind of a neat solution. Like, this is something, like, they would come up with in my future timeline, you know? It's good. It's good stuff. And look at that, it's even battery powered. Look at the form and function of that. It's pretty amazing. It not only blasts you with a laser to penetrate your skin, as like I guess with the precision of a needle, but it injects at the same time. That's good stuff. He's quiet now. The delirium has stopped. The next few hours will tell the story. If the drug works, he'll be on the way to recovery very soon. If not, there is nothing more that we can do. Poor lad, I wonder why the X-Men have forsaken him. That's kind of a assumption to make. Forsaken? Couldn't you like assume like if they're a superhero team that they're like doing something important? I don't know. That'd be like if a firefighter brought me into the hospital, and then like left because there was a burning building or something, and then the doctor comes in and is like, "Where's the firefighter? Why did he forsake you?" That's kind of harsh. But if the departing physician could look inside a gondola rising towards the substratosphere, he would find the answer to his question. For the X-Men, alas, are themselves forsaken. The others are unconscious, helpless. While I am without the power of my mutant brain, due to this mental wave distorter, Magneto has... I can do that better. While I am without the power of my mutant brain due to this mental wave distorter Magneto has fastened to my scalp. But even he has overlooked one basic item. My ability to read minds and project my thoughts is due to the counter-ego which I possess. Even now, that same counter-ego is probing the distorter, applying as much stress and strain to it as humanly possible. What the fuck does that mean? What the hell is a counter-ego? I hope that gets explained. The pain is increasing by the second. The pressure is almost unbearable, but I cannot stop now. I dare not. I dare not stop now. What's going on with his eye there? He's got like a wonky eye. The more stress that I apply to the distorter, the more chance there is of smashing it. I can't let my own pain hold me back. He looks like he's taking a legendary shit right now. Nope, no. Okay, I take it back. This is his, like, bust-a-nut face. That is a face. That is a face. I got so many observations and comments, but most of them are going to sound racist, so I'm just going to keep going. Kabok! I did it! My brain is unshackled. Angel and Cyclops are still unconscious, but the Beast and Marvel Girl are merely dazed. Hank, this is Professor X. Wake up. I'll use the power of my mind to snap Hank and Jean... I read that backwards, but... I'll use the power of my mind to snap Hank and Jean out of it, and then we'll attend to the others. Jean, you are uninjured and you must open your eyes. Professor... I just remembered, Magneto, he's alive. He's returned, I saw him. Oh wait, no, that's Professor X. I know, Jean. He took us all by surprise and managed to imprison us within this gondola. We're rising higher every second. But our first task at hand is to revive Scott and Warren. You and Hank, see what you can do. It behooves us to evacuate this cubicle before the air is dissipated. It's okay just to say air is running out. You know how much air you used up saying all that bullshit, Beast? You're right, Hank, but 5 heads are better than 1. We've got to utilize all our power, and that means Scott and Jean too. 5 heads. One is missing. What about Iceman? How did he evade Magneto's trap? He's still in the hospital, Hank. Don't you remember? Oh, Scott is reviving. Easy, beastie boy, easy. The head is attached. It is not removable. Oh boy. It looks bad, Warren. We're too high for me to blast an opening in the gondola. We'd lose our oxygen in seconds. But we're doomed if we don't get out. Professor, how did Magneto do this to us? The last time we saw of him, the stranger was taking him to another galaxy forever. We'll worry about that later, Jean, if we survive long enough. Your tone seems to imply that our plight is hopeless. Meanwhile, back at the school which he has taken over, the mighty Magneto puts his most fantastic plan into operation. By merely harnessing the limitless magnetic power he possesses, the Mad Mutant goes to work with a vengeance in the laboratory of Professor X. No longer will I have to search for new mutants. At last I have the means to build a vast army of them. An army to serve only me. And it has all been made possible because fate let the parents of an X-Men fall into my hands. What does that mean? They are asleep in the next room. They are asleep in the room next door, little dreaming how important they are to my plans. For knowing that they gave birth to a mutant, I shall secretly analyze their body cells and duplicate them. That's some Mr. Sinister shit, not gonna lie. This is like how breeding pens start, you know? Sleeping in separate beds. That's optimistic. Thus, I'll be able to create additional mutants using the same cell patterns. It shall be simplicity itself. When I am done, my army of mutant slaves will be large enough to easily conquer any force that mankind can throw against it. So, he's like off his fucking rocker. He wants mutant slaves now. It wasn't good enough to have human slaves, but now he needs mutant ones as well. Yeah, he's fucking lost it. I cannot fail. By means of this selector panel, I can even control the type of mutant I desire. Nothing can halt my march towards world domination now. What? It cannot possibly be that easy. So, all he needed all this time was some random machine parts and 2 people that fucked and gave birth to a mutant. Got it. Alright, whatever. And at that moment, in a small gondola drifting higher and higher into the lonely substratosphere, the only thing I'll say is maybe Magneto got some special knowledge by hanging out with the stranger. And that's why he couldn't do it before, but now he's got alien knowledge and he can do it. That's the only conclusion I can draw that makes sense. Because otherwise, like, if he could just make mutants, you know, and he has no scruples about slaves, doesn't matter. It's the same issue I have with, like, throwing them into a goddamn metal balloon, you know? Like, if he wanted them dead, just crush them. Just do it. Like, do you think Nike stands there wondering, like, oh, gee, I don't know, should I give him a chance? Should I make it fun? No, just do it, you know? Try your kinetic power, Jean. Perhaps you can push us down again. I'll keep watch out here to see if it works. But what if I can't do it, Professor? It's got to work, Jean. The oxygen can't the oxygen cannot last much longer in here. Thou kidst us not, Scotty. While Marvel Girl prepares to focus her kinetic power at the gondolia's floor, I'll attempt to mentally locate Magneto and see what he's doing. Silence, please. Professor, what is it? I never saw you look so shocked before. It's the Angel's parents. Magneto has captured them. My mom and dad? No, it can't be. Not them. Easy, Warren. Get a grip on yourself. We'll find a way to save them and ourselves. But how? How? The Iceman is the key. Back away, all of you. I must think. Now. So give me some fucking air. While he's trapped in the balloon. Seconds later, in the silent hospital room, a brisk commanding thought fills the air. Bobby! Bobby! This is Professor X. Can you read me? You're needed, son. You're needed. I read you, sir. I can tell that this sulfa drug has helped you, but you're still weak. Don't try to talk. Just follow my orders. Leave your bed, slowly, carefully. You must leave a notice from an ice slide at the window. Now extend the slide as you go over the rooftops towards the school. Good, good. They need me. They need me. I contacted him. He's on the way. But what can he do? How can he fight Magneto or save us all alone? He may be the youngest, but he's still an X-Man. Let's wait and see. Meanwhile, how's Jean doing? Our ascent has halted. We're not going any higher. I have enough power to stop us from rising, but I can't force the gondola down. Hold her steady then. Try not to speak. We must conserve our oxygen. I'm looking at you, beast. No more than 2 syllables per word. I'll communicate with you telepathically now. I'm about to project my thoughts downward again to probe the mind of Magneto himself. Perhaps by scanning his memory, I can learn how he escaped from the stranger. I guess this is before the point the helmet did anything. I guess at this point, it's just a helmet. Nothing special. Just to protect his dome and look cool. I guess. You know what's funny about that helmet, looking at it? Got the same problem as Michael Keaton Batman. He can barely turn his head to side. It's got like a little slit in it, in the bottom, so he can kind of do a little bit of this, but he can't do this, because the back of it would just go into his back. The front of it would just push it up. So when Magneto is wearing that helmet, at best, he can go like this, or it's probably more like this. And he has to go like this if he wants to look up, like a cone head or something. Or if he wants to like look the other way, like get more view, yeah. The helmet seems like a pain in the ass. It's cool, seems like a pain. Then, in an effort to relax his tense, worried fellow captives while Iceman enters the fray, the professor relates the images which he can detect in Magneto's mind. For months I've endured the humiliation of being the stranger's prisoner on this deserted, forsaken planet. It's not deserted, Master. I'm here with you. Silence, Toad, you sniveling, spineless, fawning fool. Yeah, if I was trapped with Toad, I would not feel good about my life. We've been allowed to roam at will, but because the entire planet is a prison for us. But it won't remain so much longer. It's like an intergalactic museum with relics from every part of the universe. But it's the graveyard of old spaceships that interests me the most. This is where the stranger has underestimated me. He knows the atomic piles of these ships are old and useless. Unless useless to anyone except Magneto. Now I understand, Master. With the stranger gone to survey other worlds, this is our chance to escape. Magneto would have thrown a fucking hissy fit if he saw the Sentinels. He probably would have killed every human on the scene. Precisely. At the wave of a hand, I transformed the iron gate around the ship into a ladder that will grant me access to the hatch above. As for the atomic power plant, I can activate it in seconds by means of my matchless magnetic power. I knew it, Master. I knew we'd escape. Nobody can imprison Magneto. That is some good shit. You knew we'd escape, you brainless, inconsequential clod. This is where one like you belongs. No, Master, no, you can't leave me behind, Master. Yeah, he probably smells. The guy's annoying. I'm guessing that Magneto probably brain damaged him into a slave. That's probably why he acts like that, but yeah. I would not want to be stuck in a goddamn pod with Toad. I feel like he smells wet all the time, like mildew or something. Like, I feel like that's what he would smell like. At best. Even the stranger, brilliant and omnipotent as he is, underestimated Magneto's great incalculable power. But now, there's not a moment to lose. I must contact Iceman again to give him his final instruction. And then, the most important part of all, I'll marshal all my remaining strength, harness all my energy for the most difficult thought projection of my life. As for the rest of you, do not speak, do not move. We must not waste one precious iota of our remaining oxygen. Why are you speaking out loud? Didn't you just say you were going to speak telepathically? Whatever. But, Professor, how can we expect Iceman to succeed against Magneto when we've all failed? Bobby will have one advantage. He knows who the enemy is. Now silence, all of you. And minutes later, an icy, crystalline figure glides noiselessly over the wall of Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. There's no more that I can tell you, Iceman. I must now send my thoughts elsewhere. Our fate is in your hands, Bobby Drake. I still feel kinda woozy, but this is no time to start pampering myself. There's a light on in the lab. That must be where Magneto is. I don't know if I can stall him or not, but if I fail, it won't be for lack of trying. The boots, it's the boots. First off, a little climb can't bother a fellow who can build himself an ice ladder. I can hear him moving up above. Magneto. After all this time, the very sight of him still fills me with dread, with awe. There's almost no limit to his power. With his strength, his built-in magnetism, he can accomplish anything. And yet, I've got to overcome him somehow. You got enough hyphens? But in his weakened condition, the valiant teenager momentarily loses his balance and totters. Totters. I was tottering. I don't know if I've ever heard that word, and yet I understand what it means. Totters. I'm trying to think of a way I can use that in my life. My fuzzy roommate is tottering furniture. No, I'll figure out a way. The ladder is tipping back. Can't straighten it in time. But if I fall from this height, I'll be finished. Desperately using every ounce of stamina, every bit of skill he possesses, Iceman whips a thin, frozen cable towards the rooftop, snagging the edge at the final fateful second. Dude, he better thank Spider-Man for that one. He stole it from Spider-Man, and he can't convince me otherwise. Can't fail now. Not just for myself. The others are counting on me. I did it. While inside the building, Magneto is so confident of his own security, so wrapped up in his incredible experimentation, that he hears nothing, perceives nothing, save what occurs within the walls of his laboratory. Everything is in readiness at last. All that remains is for me to set my devices in motion. And to make my triumph doubly sweet, I have the knowledge that my greatest enemies, the only ones who have ever defeated me, are helplessly trapped high above Earth. Thus, my army of invincible mutants is being born. The accursed X-Men are facing their own inevitable doom. And now to begin. By means of my selector panel, I'll actually control the size and the strength of the mutants I create. Barely an inconvenience. It's just like making fucking Sentinels. They'll be the superior of any human on Earth. Only the matchless power of Magneto will exceed their own. Suddenly, the room grows dark as glistening waves of ionic energy cast a startling glow, rippling the air around the softly humming main magnetic field. It's working! More than any other force on Earth, the power of magnetism is infallible. And now, my mutant production line is beginning to take form. From original conception to final creation, the process is perfect. Super powerful slaves of Magneto, each like an army unto himself. This is really fucked up. Like, if you sit here and think about this too long, these are all basically Iceman siblings, right? Like, they may not be banging out children, but he's slapping their DNA together to make more of them. So, I'm curious how they're gonna wrap this up with a nice bow. Will they just poof away? Is there gonna be a culling? Are there gonna be like a secret society of Icemen that live on an island by themselves because they're like clone freaks, you know? I'm intrigued, not gonna lie. This is all stuff I would expect out of Mr. Sinister, not Magneto. I'm starting to see why they might have worked together sometimes. I'll continue to produce them in the tens of hundreds, thousands, millions until their number is incalculable. They'll overrun the Earth, conquering all in the name of Magneto. But suddenly, the process has been halted. It is impossible, and yet someone or something is fighting me. And in the adjacent room, a frantic teenager, quickly realizing the source of Magneto's mad plan, hastily erects an ice barrier between the two sleeping victims and the mad mutant's body cell selector. This is sure to bring Magneto, but it can't be helped. I've got to halt his mutant machine any way I can. But Iceman's worst fear is realized within seconds. The source of the interference must come from, him. The final X-Men, the youngest, the weakest of them all. He dares to challenge me? Iceman, your foolhardy tampering with my master plan will avail you nothing, except your own certain destruction. Slayer! I knew he'd come after me, but at least I've stopped him for now. I'll destroy you with a gesture. Every object in the room will become a deadly threat. Nothing can overcome the supreme Nothing can overcome the power of supreme magnetism. Insert whatever sound effect. No! How about a quickly formed ice shield, braggart? But this won't hold him off for long. I've got to move fast. While he's blinded by his own flying objects, I'll use my shield as a sled and take off. He should have fucking got him. Like, right in the fucking nuts as he goes right through. Surely there's no action you can take that's off limits when you're saving the goddamn world. Hit him in the dick. Hit him in the dick. You young fool! Do you think there's any place in this building, any place on Earth where you'll be safe from me? Swoosh. Hold on, should have done a nut check. But before Magneto can make another move, an ice tunnel, I'm sliding into it. It worked. Now he'll have to follow me down into the trap I've set for him. Won't be able to use his magnetic powers while he's off balance. You're only delaying the inevitable. You cannot hold me off much longer. He may be right, but I've no other choice. If I don't stop him, mankind will be in greater danger than it's ever known. Did it. I got him into the igloo I built outside the school. Now, to escape through the opening I've prepared for myself. But the mighty mutant menace takes in the situation at a glance, and before Iceman can effect his escape, this charade has gone on long enough. My patience is exhausted. Now you shall feel the power of Magneto as few have ever felt it before. Oh no, he sealed the opening up magnetically. But I'm still too weak after my bout in... Oh wait, no, that's Bobby. I'm still too weak after my bout in the hospital. It slowed me down, but I've got to do something. And as our sensational saga reaches its spine-chilling climax, Iceman is in desperate danger. We can delay no longer. Marvel Girl, stand back. Only the power of Cyclops can bring us to Earth in time. His force beam? How can that do it? I can't catch my breath. Oxygen almost depleted. Have we enough time? We'll make time. What shall I do, Professor? Focus your beam on precisely the spot I am mentally indicating. Perfect. Now condense it to a pinpoint intensity. You must make the smallest possible hole in the gas balloon above us. I understand. Just enough to let the gas leak out slowly so we don't have to have a fatal crash. Here goes. Zzz. You did it, Scotty. Oh wait, no, that's... I'm gonna say that's, Warren. You did it, Scotty. The professor was right. We're starting to descend. But we're falling too fast. The gas is lighter than we thought. If we can't slow ourselves down, we're done for. I expected this. There's still hope. Jean, quickly. Harness all of your energy. all your resolve. Exactly 15 seconds before impact, you'll use your telekinetic power again. Use it as never before. Now, I don't know if this is true as things stand now in X-Men history, but I wonder if this is like one of the times that Professor X may have like lifted one of our mental blocks, if that's a thing in this continuity. Like he was like, you know what? This is an emergency. It's time to let Jean be a little OP for a second, you know? I don't know. I don't know if they go that route with this, with the whole split personality deal, bipolarism, whatever you want to call it. I surmise the professor's stratagem. Jean's levitation power will serve as a brake, we hope. And a few frantic seconds later... It worked! Jean broke our fall. The timing was perfect. The professor's record is still perfect. He's never failed us yet. Boop. But we're still imprisoned in this stifling gondola. Not for much longer, lady. We're close enough to the ground now. I needn't fear using my power beam. Quickly, Cyclops. Iceman is trapped. He needs us. Hang on, Bobby boy. You can do it, kid. Hang on. We're on the way. Zap. There he is, straight ahead. Hurry, you must create a diversion. Anything to make Magneto turn away. Look at Jean doing the classic I'm a fainting lady pose. The oh, this situation is too much for my delicate lady sensibilities. That's that kind of pose. Farewell, Iceman. Within seconds, my irresistible magnetic power shall melt you into a crumpled, lifeless... What? The X-Men? Bobby, shut your eyes. Shield your face. Now, kid, now. Let him have it, Psych. We're all with you. Magneto, you've just delivered your last epithet. You'll never utter another threat again. I knew they'd come. I knew it. I knew it. Bless my booties. Iceman's alive. We're just in time. The igloo shatters under the impact of Cyclops' power ray. But Magneto is far stronger than any frigid barrier. Wrench! I am well aware that it will be long minutes before your power blast returns to full strength after such a drain upon it. Thus, it is the power of Magneto that shall now turn the tide. X-Men, prepare for your final fate. Everyone prepares in his own fashion, you magnetic misanthrope. Personally, this is my way of anticipating the inevitable. Oh, hell no, we ain't doing this bot bullshit. Not on my watch. And this is mine. Sheer bestial strength is nothing to the power of magnetism. But let no man think that without his power, Magneto is still not the equal of any. Man, he's been fucking punching people out left and right this issue and last. Good work, Beast. You held him off long enough for my force beam to reach peak intensity again. But you shall not use it, Cyclops. Back, all of you, or Iceman dies. No! Get him. You can do it if you work together. I don't matter. I'll give my life gladly to rid the world of him.
You think we're too timid to take chances? This is the second time you've underestimated us, and it'll be the last. Brave words, Iceman, but utterly meaningless. I would sacrifice anyone to achieve my aims, but your fellow X-Men are too... What, the Angel? I guess I read that backwards. Whoopsie doodle. Then, as the maniacal, menacing mutant momentarily ducks his head in natural reflex action, it worked, I got him. Iceman is safe. Now we can attack at will. But you've done nothing but delay your ultimate defeat. None of you have the strength to resist my magnetic onslaught. See how easily I hold you at bay with just a few paltry gestures. That's it. Duck under my deadly attack, as I expected you to do. Now, all I need to do is unleash a maximum magnetic volley at the ground itself, and he'll never rise again. I've got to get my power beam past his magnetic field. If that doesn't work, we're done for. Now, it's no good. He was expecting it. He's repelling your beam, Psyche. It's not strong enough. You've got to increase the intensity somehow. But then, an urgent, commanding voice rings out. Stop! Don't fight any longer. It's the professor. He wants us to give up. Now Magneto sees him. He's approaching him. And the professor is helpless. Now my victory shall be complete. For you are the most dangerous foe of all. So you must be my first victim. It's you who shall be the victim, Magneto. Look above you and see your fate. It won't work. I can't be tricked so easily. It's no trick, madman. I knew there was one sure way I could defeat you, and only I could accomplish it. So while my valiant X-Men held you at bay, I sent my thoughts out into the infinite and finally found the one I sought. You weren't lying. It's the stranger. He's coming for me again. He mustn't get me. He mustn't. Then, that's what the professor meant by the most difficult thought projection of his life. Magneto's Magna car was nearby. He's gone. I wonder if we'll ever know what happens to them. But the stranger changed course. He's going after him. I'd better reconnoiter. And Eureka! What's transpiring in there? It's Warren's parents. I put a protective ice shield over them. Are they okay, Hank? As far as I can tell. I've got to see them if they've been harmed by Magneto. No sweat worry. They're okay, honest. That steady hum. It's Magneto's mutant creating machine. We've got to find it and smash it. It's directly ahead, Scotty. The first mutant has been formed. He's about to emerge. The control lever, grab it. I mean, he's already basically alive. Is this ethical? They're basically just destroying a bunch of mutants. Like, how do we know they're evil? I would have let them finish cooking personally. Just to see. And then Warren can have like 5 new baby brothers that are bigger than him. His parents are rich, they could have afforded it. But before a hand can reach the fateful lever... Whoops. The android mutants, they vanished. Faded away to nothingness. I knew it, didn't I call it? As one of the ways they'd put a nice little bow on this. They were just gonna fucking poof. because they didn't want to deal with like, ah, shit, if they're actually alive, now we gotta like determine if they're evil or not. You know, do they live? No, just poof. No moral dilemma. And apparently it was an android mutant. So like Super 16 from Dragon Ball, kinda? Like, or is it more like Cell? Are they Cell? Android mutants. I would squeal like a pig if this was ever brought up again. Ever. So weird. Naturally, while you all ran in here, your faithful frostbitten friend zipped upstairs to where Worry's parents are. All I did was move Magneto's machine away from them. They were the catalyst. Without them, it couldn't function. How about that? A living doll like me beginning to sound like the ever-loving beast. Then, with the threat finally over, the X-Men set to work with a will repairing everything repairable and concealing everything else. Thus, when Mr. and Mrs. Warrington finally awake the next morning, the most restful night's sleep I've had in a long time. I think we'll separate the beds at home too. Me too, dear. Strange I can't remember anything about last night. It's as though someone simply erased that part of my brain's memory. Oh dear, what a foolish thing to say. But I feel exactly the same way. We're beginning to sound like those silly science fiction stories Warren used to thrive on. And a short time later, Mom, Dad, I couldn't wait for you to wake up. Gosh, it's good to see you. Oh, you've all returned from your field trip. How nice. I'm glad you scheduled those field trips, Professor. Young people need a little exercise now and then. That's what the professor always tells us. Alright. They can't get in shape for the world outside by burying themselves in books, you know. I try to keep them from growing soft and flabby, Mr. Waring Worthington. Next issue, a new type of foe, a new type of story, a new type of action, but the same old Marvel magic. Enough said. All right, pretty simple ending there. Yeah, you know, I was disappointed. I kind of wanted to see the mutant androids in action. You know, like, would they have had ice powers? Would they have a personality at all? Would they just be Magneto simps? You know, I kind of wanted to see a little more. It would have been fun to explore, like, are these, like, you know, because Angel would have to be like, are these my brothers? Or what? You know, not Iceman's parents, Angel's parents. Sorry. I mean, none of them had wings. Magneto sort of implied that he could just give them, like, whatever powers he wanted, but he just kind of said there's just a strength dial. So, I don't know. I'm curious. Let's see if these mutant androids, unnamed mutant clone slaves. This machine's never gonna be mentioned of again, is it? Just got a feeling. It just seems like a huge thing to, like, never talk about ever again. Like, no one's ever like, remember the time Magneto almost made mutant androids? Why doesn't he do that again, I wonder? Do you think anyone's ever gonna say that? They're just gonna treat it like it didn't happen. they'll mention it as part of him, like, yeah, he returned from, from the stranger attacked us, and then we tricked him into leaving. And that's probably as much as they'll ever say about it again. It's fine. It's not really. I mean, it's fine and it's not fine, because it's a huge thing to be able to just manufacture, like, fucking mutants almost out of nothing. So, whatever. I'm just not going to think about it, I guess. Let's see. I got time for at least one more. Man, this guy looks like a stupid asshole. Now lo, now shall appear the Mimic. Is the Mimic another mutant or something far worse? I think I've heard it. I think I always mix up Mimic and Morph. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't think their powers are exactly the same. Yeah, alright, let's have a little smoke. I'll analyze this cover. And obviously he's trying to invoke the powers of some of the X-Men. We could probably guess those are Beast feet and hands he co-opted. Kind of looks like Cyclops' face. Kinda. Angel's wings, Iceman's ice powers. He just looks like an asshole, though. I don't know if it's maybe the costume. Maybe I just don't like the costume. Just rubs me the wrong way. Maybe he gets cooler. Maybe this is just a bad. It could just be a bad first impression. That bitch looks like Angel. So does he only use the OG X-Men's powers? Is that his deal? So these pictures, he's only using like ice and angel wings. Yeah, it even says he's got a ruby quartz lens. Yeah. Yeah, he kind of just looks like Angel, Archangel, from when he has his big change later on. I don't really know anything about Mimic. That's right, Pepe. All right, let's get a little smoke going here. What do we got? We got some Gary Larry. I've gotten Gary Larry the past couple times now. I concentrate here. It's got a great aroma.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. I can feel my mutant powers activating. Let's get some different music going. All right, one more bowl. Bravo and Pepe talked me into it. Hey. Dan, I tell you, Colorado's marijuana gets any better, I'm gonna start floating. I'm just gonna be constantly levitating. I'm gonna start growing a third eye. Know what I mean? All right, so same crew once again, although it appears Jack Kirby pitched in with penciling this time. We got writer, editor Stan Lee, penciler Jack Kirby, Jay Gavin, inker Dick Ayers, Dick Ayers. I'm gonna say Ayers. Dick Ayers, letterer Artie Simek. And you could tell they're getting much more consistent about their publication, because this is February 3rd, 1966, so pretty much almost exactly a month after the last issue. Gone are the days of waiting months and months and months. Not for us, but, you know, for the people of then. All right, let's get into it. The X-Men. Is the Mimic another mutant or something far worse? X-Men, the most unusual fighting team of all time. Lo, now shall appear the Mimic. I don't even know what that means. Boy, one thing's for sure. A Hawkeye, I am not. You're saying that. It's Jane. I hope our training session doesn't end too soon. I'm really enjoying this issue. She's reading Monsters Unlimited, whatever that is. Or could say, no, it says Unlimited. I'm curious, I want to see if that's an actual comic. Let's do a little search. I'll be damned. It is a real comic. Look, it's even got the same cover, kinda, like, same style. Another Marvel title? Perhaps? An older Marvel title? Huh. So is she reading? I'm trying to tell if there's one particular one she's reading. This one. It's got to be this one. She's reading Monsters Unlimited number 6. We get a description. Mabel, it's time we found a new laundry. More monstrous than ever. Yeah, that's exactly it. And see, it's by Stan Lee. So Stan Lee is real in this universe. He's not just God. He's also a comic book creator in this universe as well. That's kind of neat. I appreciate that little detail.
This is Kent stuff, psych. If I flew any better, I'd be ready to molt. Why is the benign beast so prejudiced against? If I were a mere anthropoid, I'd be receiving a tumultuous ovation by now. One more maneuver, Angel. Swoop sharply to your left without ruffling the pages of Jean's book. You are witnessing a typical's day activity at the typical private school. Typical, that is, if the students happen to be superpowered X-Men. Sorry, Bobby. Didn't mean to spoil your aim. Swing. Yeesh, now I missed the whole target. Yow. That's okay, Worry. I didn't mean to toss a mess of ice flakes at you either. Iceman, no clowning around till the session's over. Sorry, Psych, I thought we were finished. Uh-oh, don't try it. Oh, wait, no. Uh-oh, don't try anything, Angel, unless you want to get tickled with this icy toothpick. You, Master Robert Drake Esquire, are asking for it. I said, no clowning around. Psych's power beam. Walk. Gosh, Scotty, can't you take a joke? Not when the professor made your training my responsibility. He's right, Bobby. Let's knock it off. Sorry, Psych. We'll both cool it now. Ha ha ha, I get it, because he's fucking ice. You get the goddamn pun? You fucking understand the joke? Okay, let's all buckle down again. It's time to try to beat your own speed record on the trapdoor obstacle course, Hank. Just to ease the boredom this time, I'll attempt to negotiate the maneuver on one hand. Wait, what of the danger? Too late, he's off. Plump, thump. Fear not, group, the beast shall persevere. Careful, boy. So far, so good. Whoop, the timing sequence has been altered and it's been speeded up. Move, beastie, lest your celebrated cranium be clobbered in a most unceremonious manner. Flap. Good work, Hank. Your timing was perfect. Thwomp. Don't tune out, Psych. There's more to come. Merely protecting oneself in a battle is not quite enough. Zing. The defense must be transformed into an attack. Voila. Sorry, Angel. Apparently I was overzealous. Whoosh. You can say that again. Gene, look out! Don't worry, I'll change its direction telekinetically, but wouldn't you know it, I lost my page. Look alive, Hank. There's more obstacles to come. Thunk. No, that will be all for today. Professor X, I've been watching your session with great interest. You've done splendidly. But I think you've had enough for one day. Besides, I have an announcement for you. Click. First off, shut off all the electronic booby traps. An announcement? Is there some new danger awaiting us? No need to look so grim, Scott. All my announcements aren't necessarily harbingers of trouble. Since your bouts with the Sentinels and with Magneto in the past few months, I've been waiting for you to become fully recovered and obtain your fighting peak again. We're as fit as now as we'll ever be, sir. I agree, Henry. And that's the reason I've decided it's time you had a little vacation. I feel like we've heard this before. Yeah, like it was like right after or before the whole Sentinel thing. I think it was right before, actually. So every time they go on vacation, they get fucked over. I mean, nobody wants to read them going on vacation and then they had a great time and nothing happened. Like, nobody wants to see that either, so. Wow, you said the magic word. Time off, a chance to buy new clothes. Leave us not a minute, Bobby boy. All right, no. Leave us not waste a minute, Bobby boy. Look out, girls, here I come. What's gonna happen, though, like, when he actually makes it with a girl? Like, is he just not gonna take off his coat? Like, what's the best case scenario? He whips out his wings, and then, like, she's just cool with it? Because I feel like that could be a coin toss. Like, some people might just roll with it, and some people might be like, oh my god, is the devil real too? You know what I mean? So, like, whatever. I guess we'll see what happens if he actually does. The professor is right. They've earned it. Hang on, beastie. Leave via my ice express. Lead on, Macduff. I'll contact you mentally when it's time to return. If any ice melts on the floor, I'm not mopping it up, Bobby Drake. Yeah, see, she's got the same worry I do. Like, anytime this asshole slides around and uses his power, that shit melts, right? Like, they must have, like, a mold problem somewhere in that house. You know he's got floorboards. Like, this is an old mansion. We're talking, like, what, 16th, 17th century? 18th? Probably 18th century building? Yeah. If I only dared to ask Jean for a date, but I haven't the right, so long as my power beam is an ever-present danger. How about a double date, Scotty boy? Sorry, Warren, I've other plans. You and me, we can spit roast Jean. Later that day, on the steps of the public library in the city, we find... It's lucky that Zelda doesn't work the coffee house today, Hank. I'm rather apprehensive, though, about the blind date she procured for me. Cheer up, buddy. Any gal that is better than no gal. There are times, my frostbitten friend, when your wisdom verily belies your years. He's like, you're desperate, dude. Don't question it. Zelda's not here yet. We might as well case the other chicks. What a fucking scumbag. He's supposed to be on a date here with Zelda? And, like, she's like a minute late. So, like, what's his first instinct? See, this is what I mean, like, I think it makes a lot of sense he's gay. Like, you know, they're like, oh, Zelda's not here. We better look at chicks. I'm not staring at dudes' dicks. I'm looking for chicks, right? Right, guys? Right? Like, that's the kind of energy I want to bring. Iceman. A deeply closeted man trying to convince others that don't care one way or another. If it's all the same to you, I'll just peruse the tantalizing tomes I see before me. Our friends the beast, a most propitious title. Propitious? A most propitious title. If you haven't noticed, these books are for preschool-aged children. Maybe I only read at a first-grade level. My dear young lady, as a free citizen in a free society, it behooves me to... Hey, Hank, I don't get it. Here comes Zelda, and she's all by her lonesome. Gosh, I guess her friend couldn't make it. Just as well, I'm beginning to find the company of females somewhat trying. Dude, Beast was totally like one of those guys in high school who probably like listened to Andrew Tate, trying to like... He's like trying to turn all his freak energy into something else, you know? These fucking females. All they care about is my big beast dick. Well, aren't you the gallant one? Yeah, Beast is like a reformed tater tot. Like, he's not completely out yet, but, you know, Professor X is like undoing the brainwashing. That's what I'm going with. Hi, Zell. Where's Hank's date? Right here, Natch. That's why I wanted to meet in the library. Vera works here part-time. I thought you already met. They're having a fucking date at a library, one of which them work at? That's fucked. Pro tip, gentlemen. Most ladies who work at a bar don't want to be taken to the bar as a date. You know what I mean? But, I don't know. Maybe things were different back then. Maybe, you know, when you didn't have adult chaperones, you go to the library so you can let society know that you're not fucking in public. Whatever. Do you always blush that way, Mr. McCoy? It's the only way I know. What do you know? You were talking to your date. Have you ever noticed how danger can appear when you least expect it? For example, as our far-out foursome leaves the library. Oh dear, there's Calvin Ranking, coming towards us again. Is he a boyfriend of yours, Vera? No, but he's been wanting to be, and he's so hot-tempered. So this is a guy that is currently probably a tater tot. We got former tater tot, currently undergoing rehab, and then we got full-blown tater tot. That's my prediction. So, you didn't have time to you didn't have time for a date with me today, but here you are, arm in arm with that creep? If you're referring to me, I don't have to answer to you for anything, Calvin. Boy, Mr. Rankin heading for a fat lip. I love when people's faces are red. Just because I've helped you locate the books you wanted in a mine engineering. Let's try that again. Just because I've helped you locate the books you wanted on mine engineering doesn't mean you can tell me whom to date. Oh, no. All right, son, we're no longer amused. Nobody asked you to butt in. I'll knock you clear back to Squaresville. Squaresville. I'm sorry, you can't be threatening and say Squaresville at the same time. Not without, like, some kind of gun in your hand. I don't know. Even then, you undercut the thing you're doing by saying Squaresville. I want to read that line again. Nobody asked you to butt in. I'll knock you clear back to Squaresville. Wait. Hey, I never saw anyone dodge so fast before. Obviously, you're not the observant type, and now it's my turn at bat. But then, as Hank McCoy swings easily, not wanting to take an unfair advantage of his enraged foe, he is astonished to see. He sidestepped my blow as effortlessly as I had outmaneuvered him. But nobody is as agile as the beast. Nobody normal, that is. Ha! Missed me by a mile. Calvin Hanks, stop it! There's no need for a common street brawl. He can't be. He's leaping around like the beast. Now that I kicked my shoes off, I'll really go to town. It's incredible. He actually possesses my powers, but I don't dare use them myself. It would mean revealing my X-Man identity to the girls. That. And then, the crowning humiliation, Buck. Sweet dreams, stupid. That'll teach you to stay away from my girl. All right, tough guy, you had your inning, now it's my turn at bat. Hey, did you guys see what happened over there? Yeah, some kind of fight. That was no ordinary fight, pal. He's turning icy. Ugh. Thwop. Can you imagine if someone turned into ice, but you didn't, like, really comprehend what was going on at the time? And then they just threw a bunch of white, goopy snow at you? I'd be so confused. Next time, you'll keep your nose out of other guys' business, runt. The big guy beat up one kid, and now he's going after other one. But look at him, he ain't no ordinary bruiser. Did you see the way he moved and leapt around? And now he's got some kind of icy power? He gotta be mutant. We gotta save those kids from him. Let's go! They're after me. Gotta run. You're rotten mutie! You're the rotten mutie! Leave those kids alone! Leave them alone! With the speed of thought, the uncanny Calvin ranking creates an ice shield between himself and his attackers. Wow, with no training, look at him go. Like, and he's never seen, he doesn't know, as far as we know, Mimic doesn't know who they are. He's never seen them use their powers. So the fact that he's just doing this on instinct, I guess it's part of his mutant power? I don't know. What? Pow, wham, clunk. That'll hold him off till I get away. His powers, the same as the beast in his mind. It can't be, and yet it is. How? How? But the way they're hounding him, just like Professor X said humans would hound us if we ever revealed ourselves. I don't dare tip my hand after going... I don't dare tip my hand by going after him. Made it. They'll never get me now. Go on, yell and threaten all you want to. I'm better than any of you. Look at 'em milling around, wondering what to do next. What weak fools. Not afraid of any of them. Say, wait a minute. They called me a mutant. It was because I leaped around and climbed walls, and because I had the power of creating and using ice. But I seem to remember 2 of the X-Men have those powers. That's it. I've done what no one's ever been able to do before. Zoom. I've managed to discover the normal identities of 2 real X-Men. That's who I was fighting, the Beast and the Iceman. And they think I've really got the same power as them? Crash. They didn't even suspect my real secret. Nobody does. Suddenly, the black mood of Calvin Rankin undergoes a startling change. In a burst of sheer animal energy, of uncontrollable enthusiasm, he cavorts along the rooftops like a man gone wild. I've met 2 of the X-Men so far, but now that I know who they are, I'll be able to find the rest of them. And when I'm done, I'll be more powerful than... When I'm done, I'll be more powerful than any or all of them. There's no way they can save themselves. This means the end of the X-Men. Then, finally... I'm bushed. That was some workout, but I got myself all overheated. I'll whip up some ice to cool off with. Oh no, I can't do it. Only a few droplets, and even they're melting away. I should have known. My powers have vanished. In my excitement, I forgot that my powers only last for a short time. Only while I'm near the one I'm mimicking. I've got to regain those powers and more. I must, to carry out my plan. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder what the upper limits of that power is. Like, if he was near, say, someone like Franklin Richards, like, could he manipulate reality, or would he be, like, limited to, like, the power level that he's at? Power level. Like, if you were to copy Deadpool's powers, would the healing factor be just as good, or would it be, like, more limited? You know, that's the kind of thing I'm wondering. That would suck, though, if that means he got cancer, too. Like, by trying to mimic Deadpool, can you imagine? I used my power to mimic Deadpool, and got this cool healing factor, but now I look like Freddy Krueger and I have cancer. However, before we learn what Calvin Rankin's strange plan is, let's see where he pops up next. What a wonderful shopping twirl. Oh God, I speak good, I swear. What a wonderful shopping tour. A pity a girl has to run out of money so soon. I'll just stop for a quick snack before returning to the school. Oh, what, did that cost like $5 altogether back then? Better rush if I want a table. Buck. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you with that tray. Hey, watch it. Next time, look where you're going. If you weren't a girl, I'd paste you one. And if I weren't a lady, I'd tell you what I think of your manners. I've never seen such a nasty-tempered specimen. If I weren't afraid of revealing my identity, I'd telekinetically toss him in a pot of stew. Nutty females, they're all alike. Now where's the blasted sugar? Oh, on the next table. I have to get it. Why couldn't it be on my table in the first place? So, not only did he accidentally run into two X-Men, but he accidentally ran into Jean Grey while she was out randomly shopping and arrived at a place where he just happened to stop to get coffee while she needed a snack. Do I have that right? Because it kind of looks like he met the first two by accident and is also meeting the third one by accident. And I'm assuming this might all be even on the same day. I don't know. If I was generous, I could say, oh no, it's been a couple days. Like, he was out looking for her. He knew she was in the area, but he, didn't know what she looks like. I don't know. It's kind of sloppy storytelling, is what I mean to say. Holy smoke, it's coming right to me by itself. All I had to do was think about it. The town must be crawling with X-Men. They'd let's come back again. That chick has to be Marvel Girl, the one with the power of telekinesis. If I follow her, she's sure to lead me to the others. Am I crazy? Am I fucking crazy? Just happens to run into her, wasn't even looking for her? Like, wasn't the whole purpose of knowing the identities of Beast and Iceman to track them down to find other X-Men? Like, not just to wander out into the world and fucking hope, like, oh gee, hopefully I just, he wasn't even looking. He was getting coffee. The bitch was getting coffee. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna let it go. Just gonna let it go. Just gonna let it go. I don't know what they were thinking, but I'm gonna let it go. The next day, as the X-Men clue their leader in, it's true, Professor. He had the same identical powers as Bobby and I. It's incredible. Yet, he can't be a mutant. My cerebro machine registers negative. Guess he fixed it. Couldn't Cerebro be wrong, sir? Impossible. It will respond to the presence of a mutant within a 100-mile radius of here. But we must learn of a secret. The doorbell? It's him. I can mentally confirm his presence. Admit him, Hank. Oh, they're fucked if he gets the professor's power, right? Like, because if his power works by proximity to other people and he gets Professor X's power, he could just mentally fuck people over and be like, all right, you're my bodyguards forever. Jean, have my babies. Like, right? Like, wouldn't that be the natural progression if he was a maximum evil villain? And so, hi, I'm sorry for the way I tangled with you yesterday. I came to apologize and asked if I could join you. That decision is the professor's prerogative. Come in. The fool, he thinks I mean it. He knows who we are. He's trying to probe my mind. But now I've got his mental power, so I can block him. For the first time, I sense a brain as powerful as mine. Could he be the greatest danger we've ever faced? I'd like you to meet the others. I'm Jean Grey. I bumped into you yesterday at the cafeteria. I'm glad you're in a better mood now. Calvin Rankin's my name. If you're wondering how I got here, it's because I followed you from that place. Smooth. Really smooth. Fucking stalker. Then, after Scott Summers has introduced himself, a glow appearing from behind his smoke glasses, as though his eyes have suddenly been endowed with a power like mine. Glad to see you, Summers. Maybe a lot more glad than you suspect. Warren Warrington III, huh? Put it there, pal. He's got to be the angel. I feel a swelling starting to appear on my back, like wings getting ready to sprout. Hello, Rankin. We must play along with him, act as though we trust him until we learn the extent of his power. Hi, Drake. I remember you all right. Good. I can feel as though I can ice up again anytime I want to. I didn't like you when we met yesterday, and I haven't changed my mind a bit today. My sentiments exactly, Rankin. I can't fathom why you're here, but I suspect your motives are less than altruistic. That's enough, Hank. Remember, Calvin Rankin is a guest, but an uninvited one, sir. None of them trust me. But so what? It's too late for them to save themselves now. Minutes later... Professor, why did you permit him to go upstairs? He'll learn all about us. It's too late for secrecy now. He already knows who we are, and he feels he's powerful enough to defeat us all. What are we gonna do about it? It's your time to don your X-Men costumes. When he returns, it will be to challenge us. And even as the professor speaks, I had to get off alone here for a minute. My shoes were killing me since my feet got as big as the beast. It's a good thing I prepared an outfit for myself to wear. So this guy brought his own little costume. That's so cute. It'll be a pleasure to get this tight binder off. I can't wait to see the result. I knew it. All I had to do was be near the angel. Looks like I'm all set now. That means it's time for me to tackle the lot of them. He looks like a fucking asshole. I'm sorry. He's a goober. He looks like a goddamn goober. How did he know how to deal with Cyclops' little issue there? Like, can he control it? Is he wearing a ruby quartz visor? Okay, X-Men. There's no need for any more pretending. I intend to defeat you all. Rest assured the Mimic has the power to do it. I can't lose because I possess all your own abilities, including the mental power of Professor X. He didn't have those wings when he first arrived. No, obviously, he can only mimic others when he draws near to them. You all look fearful, and I don't blame you. Now I'll prove I'm mightier than all of you. The Mimic. Someone with the ability to duplicate our own superpowered feats. How can we fight a guy like that? Look out, he's ready to attack. Oh wait, Miss Jean. What'd you say, Jean? Professor, it isn't possible. He's like a combination of all of us. Then, suddenly, the mimic hurtles upward, propelled by a leap of beast-like agility. Instantly, a mental command from Professor X rings out. Angel, I don't know what he's planning, but stop him. It will be a pleasure, sir. But before the high-flying angel could reach his prey, the mimic reverses himself in flight and... Ha! Unlike you, I've got more than a pair of wings. Ugh, he attacked the way the beast would. If Hank could also fly... Come on. Who's next? I'll take you all one at a time or all at once. Gene, stop Angel's fall telekinetically. Iceman, keep the mimic at bay with an ice javelin while I try to singe his wings. Gotcha, psych. Did you forget I have the same power and same defenses as you do? He mimicked my power beam to shatter the javelin and stopped my own beam with an ice shield. Brack, whap. He's landing. He thinks we're beaten. Stay back, all of you. I'll tackle him alone. No, he's too strong, too unpredictable. You must fight as a team. Ha, thanks for your powers, X-Men, but I'm gonna use them to defeat the whole lot of you. Yeah, but then, like, what then after? Like, does he keep them in a tiny cage and, like, visits them every couple of hours, I guess? I'm gonna guess he gets, like, 3-4 hours when he's not in proximity. You're on your own, X-Men. The danger is clear. The task is yours. The moment is now. Leave some for me, Hank. I've got a little debt to repay. You can't outfight all of us. First come, first served. All at once? Good. I'll be able to end it faster this way. Careful, Psyche. He must have something up his sleeve. It's too late for caution. Nothing will stop us now. I'm curious. Oh yeah, okay, the mental command. Okay. I was wondering when he was going to actually use Xavier's powers. But suddenly, a sharp mental command is heard. X-Men, halt! Behind you, quick! Look, behind you. But behind us? Where? What can it be? It was a ruse. The mimic did it. Naturally. Now I possess the same mental powers Professor X. Here's some snow in your face, Cyclops. And some hail in yours, Mimic. No matter how many powers you have, you can't be everywhere at once. Ugh. A most effective maneuver, Bobby. And now allow me to perform the coup de grace. Thump. Bam. It would appear that the time has come for our moment of truth, Mr. Lincoln. Hold on, Hank. I'll try to topple him by applying telekinetic force to his legs. I've got to keep reminding myself we're not attacking one of us when we fight the mimic. How about that? We beat him. And in record time, too. Have you had enough, Mr. Rankin? A most exemplary example of X-Men prowess. I don't like it. He still looks dangerous to me. You're right, Scott. Then, moving with the combined speed and agility with the Angel and Beast themselves, he's seizing Marvel Girl. Stay back, all of you. Suddenly, a powerful telepathic thought rings out. Let him go, Cyclops. Do not stop him. The order stands. Hold your ground. Do not attack. But one blast of my ray... I was too fast for them. Seconds later... So they're just in a car. He's got his wings. Telekinetic force, ice powers, big ass feet and hands. How's he get around? Car. Seconds later, and it looks like his powers are already disappearing. So it's ambiguous then, right? Because before it looked like he was going on a little beast run earlier, like he was doing it for like an hour at least. I don't know, whatever. It just works when it needs to and doesn't when it needs to. Where are you taking me, and why? Don't you know how hopeless this is? There's no place you can go where the X-Men won't find you. You believe it. I caught that thought. You believe it. I caught that thought the professor threw. He's afraid of me. Anyway, I want them to follow me. That's why I grabbed you. My wings are getting smaller, my body turning normal because I've left them. I'll keep the girl's telekinetic power because she's still near me. And some distance behind the speeding car, we find... I had to let him escape so that he could lead us to his destination. By probing his brain, I knew that Jean would be safe. I pray that you're right, sir. If any harm should come to Marvel Girl, I'd... Is that the sentiment of the deputy leader of the X-Men, or the anguished fury of a young man in love? Why is he jealous? Then, a short time afterward, a deserted mine, but why? It's more than a simple mine. Let's go. I'll show you. It's amazing. His wings are gone, and his body no longer resembles the beast. How on earth can he keep changing that way? I wonder if it's painful. Like, wouldn't like the density of your body, bones, skin, muscles, like, wouldn't that all be a little painful? Maybe? I don't know. Like, does he have 2 bloody holes in his back right now, or does it just go back to normal? Did his wings fall off, or did they just get, like, sucked back into his body? I got a lot of questions. Also, no holes on his costume, so... made out of the good stuff. That just seals back up, I guess, or lets your wings phase through your shirt. You know, one of those costumes. Soon, deep within the mine, Jean Grey is astonished to find living quarters. It's a place for someone to live, in comfort and in secret, but for what purpose? While we wait for the X-Men to find me, I'll tell you a little story. Then perhaps you'll finally understand the secret of the Mimic. He's a cheese ball. It's the story of a young boy whose father was a scientist working on a strange, dangerous experiment. More dangerous than any of them dreamed. It's more super science gone to shit. Venture Brothers had it right. All super science leads to madness. Dad? I've told you to stay out when I'm working. This room is off limits to you. But the boy was young, foolish, and defiant. One day, when his father was out on an errand, he tried to satisfy his youthful curiosity, and then... Oh, I've knocked over a beaker. Gas is filling the air around me. Can't stop breathing it in. Coughing, gasping, his eyes smarting, he carefully clenched up the lab and then left. But in the months and years that followed, strange things began to happen more and more frequently. So he's not a mutant then, he's a mutate. He's more like Deadpool. A lot of these mutants are starting to just sound like Deadpool. Because so far we've had Professor X's parents working on nuclear research projects. Who was the other guy? It was the same with someone else. But they've used that. Basically, science has led to the creation of mutants at least 3 times now. Supposedly. But I have a feeling that'll all get retconned. Like, nope, they were born that way, and, the chemicals just unlocked it a little bit sooner, I don't know. We'll see. I have to let it play out more. I don't get it. Blackie's the school boxing champ, and I'm a dud, but I'm fighting as good as he is. Lately, whenever I'm near anyone, I seem to do whatever they can do. Oh, so that's a pretty useful power. Like, imagine if he was hanging out with Einstein. Like, anytime you hang out with this dude, you get, like, a second smart guy, I don't know if it works like that, but it may as well. It was that way all through school. He was as good as the best athletes, so long as he was near to them. There was nothing he didn't excel at. And as his ability grew, so did his arrogance and his conceit. That's your 5th homer, and 5 times at bat. Naturally, it's not hard when you're playing against a bunch of no-talent misfits. Back. Even when he was in class, he always seemed to know as much as the teacher. Eventually, the dislike from which the other students had for him turned to distrust, then actual suspicion and fear. I tell you, there's something scary about the way that he's good at everything. Oh, you're right. Reminds me of a robot or something. He's like a machine. I never heard of anyone being tops at every sport and getting straight A's in every subject without even trying. I should worry what they think of me. I'm better than all of them. They're just jealous of me, that's what. But the boy's father finally became aware of what had happened. He knew men would someday rise against his son, and so he took him to a lonely cave. We'll live up here until I've found a way to help you. If only my powers would be permanent and not leave me when I'm no longer near the one I'm mimicking. 4 months, they hid in the cave while the scientists built a machine, one which would make the boy's power last forever. But the machine drained so much current that it short-circuited every fuse in the county. Listen, the warning signal, someone is coming. According to the radio, people are suspicious of what's been happening here. They know there are powerful machines operating, but they don't know why. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, it's the fucking mob. I see a machete. Where's a pitchfork? Or no, that's a shotgun. It's all shotguns. They've traced the source of their power breakdown to our cave. An angry, fear-crazed mob is capable of anything. We've got to protect ourselves. I'll detonate the main explosive cache, sealing off the mine entrance. If only they waited a little longer, it wouldn't have mattered. But in setting off the explosives, the scientist underestimated the force of the blast, and he was unable to escape in time. Boom. Hours later, after the mob had finally dispersed, the son dug himself to freedom, his heart pounding with an unquenchable desire for vengeance. I'll make them pay for what happened to you, Dad, even though your machine was buried even though your machine was buried under all the debris. I'll find some way to reach it again, and when I do, I'll become the mightiest man in the world. I'll gain power of everyone. I'll gain the power of everyone I meet, and I'll keep all that power forever. Oops. Then you were that boy, and you want the X-Men to follow you here so you can trick them into reaching that machine for you. Right, and you're the bait that will bring them to me. Ha, my wings are beginning to sprout again, and that means they're getting closer. It's time to greet them now, as I open the door telekinetically with powers I've mimicked from you. No shit, I don't think you needed to explain that to her. Stop mansplaining. My only weakness is the fact my powers fade when the one I'm mimicking isn't near me. But my father's machine will make my powers permanent. All I have to do is find a way to reach the machine, behind all the tons of rubble. Why would he assume that the machine would even still be working? Like, let alone like still connected to a power grid or anything. Whatever. My wings are full size now, so I know the X-Men are just outside the cave. That means I can use Professor X's mind power at last. It's working. The mental power I'm now able to mimic from the professor can easily locate the exact spot where the machine lies buried. The fools, they don't suspect that I wanted them to follow me, so I could use their powers to defeat them and the entire world. Ha! I knew Cyclops would have to be with them. Now by mimicking his force beam, I can blast my way through debris in minutes. Just a few minutes more and I'll triumph over all mankind. Quirk. While outside the mine, a deserted mine shaft. Now what? You know what to do with the shaft, Iceman. No, I'm sorry. That's not it. He wanted us to follow him. He didn't even attempt to shield his mind from my mental probe. Sheer folly on his part, I'd say. Why would he have wanted us to pursue him into a mine? We're not even members of the Prospectors Union. If he's in there, we'll find him. He won't escape from us again. He is indeed in there. Or wait, he is in there indeed. I can promise you that. What of Jean, Professor? Can you mentally scan the area and tell if she's all right? If she's been harmed, no power on Earth will save the mimic for me. When I hear that tone in Psyche's voice, I wouldn't want to be his enemy if I was as strong as 100 mimics. She's perfectly safe, Scott. It won't be long before we reach her. She's directly behind that iron door. Use your power beam's lowest intensity, Cyclops, so it doesn't penetrate too far. I understand. I understand, sir. Just enough force to shatter the lock. Bzz. You did it! Seconds later, upon reaching the captive girl, Scott Summers silently takes his place behind the professor's wheelchair once again. I knew you'd reach me, I knew it. But where's the mimic? Strange. Scott doesn't seem to want Marvel Girl to realize how desperately concerned about her he was. Maybe he just doesn't feel it's the time. Maybe he's not a fucking horny old bitch like you are. No offense against people with pedophilic thoughts, but... And even as Hank McCoy anxiously asked the question, which is the upmost in all their minds, I'm almost there. Just one more blast. Brack. That did it. I can see the opening just ahead. The machine, I see it, just as Dad left it. The explosion didn't do any damage to the inner cave. That means I've won. I've won! There. I've activated the master switch. The current is on. Everything is set for me. All I need to do is stand under the machine, and then no power on Earth will be able to stop me. The world will be mine. His dad? So wait a minute. That means they planned his whole persona of the Mimic ahead of time. Because there's a giant fucking M on the wall, right? Unless his name is like Mikey McCoy or something like that. Like, his dad may as well have turned him into a villain himself. He basically did. Like, you got dangerous chemicals that can mutate you. You lock that shit up, you know? Terrible father. Terrible fucking father. All I need... Oh yeah, I already said that word. Come on. Zep. What? Hold it, Mimic. The X-Men, you fools, you're too late. We'll see about that. Get him! Iceman with a fucking club. That would be kind of terrifying. Can you imagine, like, a statue, an ice statue running at you with a fucking club? I would be scared. Not because, like, it's the scariest thing in the world. It's just my brain wouldn't be able to comprehend it in the moment, you know? Like, assuming I didn't live in a world full of, news. Look out, he's creating an ice wall. That, my friend, is painfully apparent. How can you hope to battle someone who can hurl your very own weapons against you? Now watch how easily I cause this icy barrier to topple. And seize the advantage by flying over your heads. Whoa. Look at Iceman. With the save. They would have all been crushed worse. Hold it. No one move, he's got the professor. Stay back, all of you. Oh wait, no, that's the professor talking. Stay back, all of you. I'll handle this myself. You're whistling in the dark, mister, and you know it. But we must act. If he uses that machine, there's nothing you can do while I have you. Don't attack, he can't win. You must trust me. At the last minute, you revealed yourself for the coward you are, Professor. You held them off, fearing for your own safety, and so I have triumphed. My powers will now be permanent. There is nothing I cannot do. All mankind will be at my feet. My father will not have died in vain. But then, a startling, unexpected turn of events occurs. The Mimic collapsed. I'll grab the professor. Beast, quickly, take the Mimic. Take the Mimic. This entire place will blow up within minutes. We've got to escape. But why? How? Some time to play 20 questions. Jean, levitate yourself. Hurry, girl. Don't worry, Scotty. I can keep up with all of you easily. Yeah, it's easier for her than it is for me. She doesn't have to worry about running out of ice. Okay, I'm trying to see what they're holding there. This is the professor's wheelchair. And Cyclops' right hand. What the hell is in his right hand there, do you think? I don't know. How can you be sure the mine would blow up, sir? Thump, thump. I myself caused the short circuit mentally. This is no avocation for one who espouses a life of leisure. Boom. We made it. We're safe. Whew. Talk about a nick of time. Look, the mimic. I don't get it. His wings are gone. And his figure. It doesn't resemble the beast anymore. What changed him? He's still near us. It was his father's machine. That proved to be his undoing, his greatest mistake. You mean his father's machine failed, Professor? On the contrary, it worked perfectly. Then, a short time later, you see, Dr. Ranking knew the powers of mimicry which his son had accidentally obtained could only lead him to terrible trouble. And so, although the lad didn't realize it, his father created a machine to take those powers away. And now, since I've mentally removed his memory of all that has occurred, he is free to leave. A new normal life awaits him. So that's why you wanted us to let him use the machine. You sensed it all the time. Oh, he's holding a lantern. I guess, for some reason. I wonder what would have happened had he gained the power he wanted. Lucky for us, and for the world, we'll never know. Next issue, the return of Unis, the Blob, and the mysterious Lucifer. Enough said. All right. I like the twist of the father using the machine to take away his powers. I mean, he knew he saw his son was like a rotten little shit the whole time he had him. So maybe that's why he put the big M, for him on the wall to be like, yeah, son, no, yeah, you're totally gonna rule the world. Look, I painted a big fucking M on the machine. M means mimicry. That must be, you see? We're gonna make you super good. So I could see that being part of the ruse, So I think that was a good twist. I like it. I didn't think of it. His father seemed just like kind of a shitbag too, so I'm seeing that as a pattern in the X-Men series, the hard ass father that makes one final turn to good. I wonder if like Stan Lee's like father was like an asshole or something. I don't know. Maybe Stan Lee was an asshole father. Some people write about the things they're going through. Not that he ended up that way, but strange some of the things people write about, the patterns that start appearing. Yeah, because I can think of Professor X's father was that way. There's another super scientist I'm neglecting. Trying to see if there's any good trivia. Nothing too crazy. The Mimic is the first villain to learn the true identity of any X-Men. I mean, like the Blob, right? The Blob knew until his memory was erased, and he erased Mimic's memory. So that doesn't seem true. It's a bad trivia. Bad. Let's take a look at the cover for the next issue. Oh, so the Blob actually joins the X-Men, it seems. Okay. I mean, they were kind of floating that to begin with. And then we got the nitty-gritty details of how he lost his legs to Lucifer, the man, not the devil. So if we get back to comic books, it'll be Monday. Otherwise, it'll be another day sometime next week. Just kind of depends what I'm feeling like doing, what I feel like doing, But bravo, man. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you're still out there and hanging out. And for anyone else, whether you watch now or later, wherever you are, whenever you are, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for putting up with my weirdness. And if you like it, why not come back next time?
Yo, listen up as I
Take care.
narrate the vector's tale. A man from afar riding the temporal gale. Ronin by name and a Ronin by fate. In the tapestry of time he's got a date. He ain't just saving, he's exploring the rift. In the timelines he travels, he's given a lift. Seeking tech and secrets in a world that's gone astray. Ronin's the man who's gonna find a way. Ronin Vector, the chrono navigator. In the flow of time, he's the prime innovator. Exploring the realms where few dare to venture. He's the Ronin Vector, the timeline's avenger. From a future so bright to our present so bleak, he's the silent watcher, the tech he does seek. Not just a savior, but a seeker of lore. Ronin's the key to what we're looking for. Through the ruins and the relics, he's making his mark. A beacon of hope in the timeline so dark. With every secret he finds, every piece he retrieves. He's crafting a future nobody believes. Ronin Vector, with a vision so clear. In the shadows of time, he's got nothing to fear. An explorer at heart, with a will that won't sever. He's the Ronin Vector, forever and ever. So when you feel the ground shake and the air gets colder, know that Ronin's passing by as the world grows older. In the whispers of time, his legends inscribed. Ronin Vector, the man who defied. Ronin Vector, the chrono navigator. In the flow of time, he's the prime innovator. Exploring the realms where few dare to venture. He's the Ronin Vector, the timeline's avenger. Ronin Vector, with a vision so clear. In the shadows of time, he's got nothing to fear. An explorer at heart, with a will that won't sever. He's the Ronin Vector, forever and ever. So when you feel the ground shake and the air gets colder, know that Ronin's passing by as the world grows older.